Hi, I'm Christina, and this is a book review video on Who is Maud Dixon by Alexandra Andrews. So, this is a new thriller published this year, and it's her debut novel. We follow the main character of Florence Darrow. She's an aspiring author and she's currently unemployed. And then she gets the opportunity to be a personal assistant to Maud Dixon, who is an anonymous best-selling author. Obviously, she jumps at this opportunity. However, the job isn't all that it seems. She must sign a legally binding non-disclosure agreement, forever have this gap in her CV, and she must live with Maud Dixon in a remote part of the country in an isolated house. And as the job isn't all that it seems, neither is the woman behind the name of Maud Dixon. So, if I have to describe this book in just a few words, I'd say it's a book about identity, power, and ambition. We first meet the character of Florence as she's waking up in a hospital in Morocco after a car accident, and then the next 2/3 to 3/4 of the book is spent on the events leading up to this event. And I have to say, I thought too much time was spent on that, considering we knew where it was going to end up, because we read about it in the first few pages. So because of that, I thought the pacing of this book felt a little bit off. Pretty much all of the major plot points and the twists and the turns and the main story of this book actually happens very quickly, in very quick succession, in the latter kind of like sixth of the book. So yeah, for me, the pacing felt a little bit off. And I thought it was a shame that we knew so much going into it. And I would say, if you haven't read the inside cover of this book, don't read it, because I think it gives away way too much. Most of the book is spent on that. So when you already know that going into it, there isn't really that many surprises. So I thought that was a shame, really, in how it was marketed. And then otherwise, I was enjoying the story of it, but I will say, I don't think any of these characters are likeable. They're all very unlikable characters. I don't think I liked one of them at all, so it was very difficult to warm to these characters too. But that isn't to say that's a negative necessarily, because I do sometimes love books which have very unlikable characters, but none of them really felt very real to me. I just didn't really have that connection with this book, unfortunately. And I think some of it was knowing too much going into it because of having read the inside cover, which is a shame. So I just thought that was definitely something to point out. In terms of twists, I was a little bit disappointed. Generally speaking, I could see where this story was going most of the time. So I had predicted all of the twists and all of the turns, so that was a little bit disappointing. I will say though, there was one final twist that I hadn't predicted, so that was great. I really enjoyed that. But generally speaking, I could see where this story was progressing nearly all of the time, which was a little bit of a shame. And I have to say that I don't think the concept itself is particularly innovative. I feel like I've seen this idea done before in fiction and on TV and in films. So I think that was a bit of a disappointment. And because I have seen the concept done before and it didn't feel innovative, I was understandably comparing this book to those. And I won't say which ones I was comparing it to, because I think that's a little bit spoiler territory too. But I've actually seen this idea done better elsewhere. So I just it put a little bit of a dampener on the book for me, that one situation. But I will also say that I have read a lot of thrillers, so perhaps if you are newer to the genre, it would be new to you and you might get more out of this story than I did. But I have to say, it isn't a bad book by any means. I did enjoy my time with it. I think my favourite part of the book was the setting, actually. So the book is set initially in New York, but it's set primarily in Morocco. And I have to say, I really thought she brought the place alive on the page, and I really enjoyed that. And it's definitely a place I'd love to visit. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Overall, I enjoyed it. It's a 3-star read for me because, like I say, I enjoyed it, but it isn't going to be a new favourite. I don't think it's anything particularly special or innovative. Like I say, kind of seen this concept done before and unfortunately seen it done better. But it was a fun time and I enjoyed my time with it. But it is going to be a low 3-star read. So yeah, that was Who is Maud Dixon. I have heard a lot of hype about this book on BookTube, and that's initially why I wanted to read it. But for me, it's a bit of a run-of-the-mill thriller. So if you're interested in reading it, definitely give it a go. But otherwise, perhaps give it a miss. It's a good time, but it's nothing particularly special. So that was my thoughts on that one. Please like the video if you liked it, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more of me talking about books. And if you've already read this book, definitely let me know what you thought of it down in the comments. I'd love to chat to you about it, as always. So yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.